You don't get much more boutique than Intense Cycles. It's the brand, with the help of Sean Palmer, that single-handedly transformed mountain biking from its fluorescent, lycra-clad roots into the cool sport we know and love today. Named after a venomous North American spider, the Recluse is the latest of 3 new bikes launched this year and gets 140mm of travel rolling on 27.5-inch wheels. There are 5 models in the range, and the top 3 use fibres spun from high modulus carbon to save weight. The new JS-tuned VPP suspension linkage has been developed specifically for the Fox Float X2 rear shock. And unlike some bikes we've ridden with it, the back end on the Intense didn't feel sluggish and overdamped. You can really feel the Fox internals working their magic, especially when you smash the rear wheel into a square edge hit. And the damping builds to absorb the impact rather than simply allowing the wheel to get out of the way. Up front, the Fox Factory 36 fork has been spaced down to 150mm of travel, and we found the damping on the Fit 4 cartridge easier to set up, with a more usable range of adjustment than the RC2 version. Intense has put together a custom build package for its flagship bike. By using an 11-speed E13 9-44 cassette, the gear range on the Intense almost rivals SRAM's 12-speed Eagle, while allowing it to use a shorter cage XX1 mech for improved ground clearance. And given that the shifting was seamless and smooth, we could see more brands following its lead. Being the most expensive bike in test, we expected the Intense to be the lightest by quite some margin. As it turns out, it's actually the heaviest. Not that you'll notice those extra grams on the climbs. Even with a softer compound 3C tyre on the rear, the Intense simply rockets uphill, a steep seat angle pushing your weight forward to ensure you're not hanging off the back of the bike, even with the ultra short chainstays. The JS-tuned suspension linkage is really effective at isolating the shock from pedal forces too, making the climb switch on the shock all but redundant. Sadly, the Recluse gets all shy and nervous on the descents, as the lofty BB and short back end serve to undermine the excellent suspension and generous sizing. As such, the Intense lacks poise as the pace picks up on more demanding trails. All it would take to rectify the geometry are some offset shock bushings. Not only would they bring the bottom bracket height down, but given the nature of the angle of the lower link, they would also increase the effective chainstay length, further enhancing stability at speed. The Intense Recluse has the longest reach measurement in this test, yet it feels the smallest bike. And just to be crystal clear, we're not talking about the fit or sizing. It actually handles like a short bike. The tall BB and ultra short chainstays have a coupling effect that make the Intense feel noticeably less stable at speed. This is doubly frustrating, as the geometry is the only real barrier to tapping into the full potential of the excellent Fox suspension. Offset shock bushings may be all that are needed to allow the Recluse to come out of its shell, but when you're paying upwards of 8K for a bike, it should be sorted straight out of the box.